As the title of this video suggests, I'm gonna talk about the book titles I still have yet to find. They're out there somewhere. I can feel it in my bones. Like I discussed in the past 2 book-related videos, I've only really collected 2 of the Hellboy pocket novels and nothing else. I like Hellboy. I like the very concept of a demon being raised by the good guys and that it grows up to be a savior or a hero rather than it turning out how nature intended it to be. So the books I currently have are On Earth as It Is in Hell by Brian Hodge and The God Machine by Thomas E. Snagosky. I'm still reading The God Machine at this point and I'm halfway through, but I still would like to find the other Hellboy novels that I currently haven't found yet. The Lost Army by Christopher Golden, The Bones of Giants by Christopher Golden, Unnatural Selection by Tim Levin, and The Dragon Pool by Christopher Golden. These are the pocketbooks I really want to find out there. It's out there. I just have to look harder, I guess. In the case that I end up finding all of those books, these are some of the optional Hellboy books that I would also like to find. Emerald Hell by Tom Piccirilli, The All-Seeing Eye by Mark Morris, The Firewolves by Tim Levin, and The Ice Wolves by Mark Chadbourne. That's a total of 8 books, and if you live in Metro Manila, Philippines, email me and I'll gladly purchase those books from you. For a reasonable price, of course. Moving on from Hellboy, I have a copy of 2001, A Space Odyssey that I got from Big Bad Wolf way back before the pandemic. And I want to find the 3 other books after it. 2010, Odyssey 2 by Arthur C. Clarke, 2061, Odyssey 3, and 3001, The Final Odyssey. I found a copy of 3001, The Final Odyssey at the Gateway branch of National Bookstore, but I don't think it's there anymore because that second floor got renovated a lot throughout the recent years. I doubt that it's still there, but it might exist in Bookseller chapters and pages, so you never know. Once again, if you have a copy you want to sell, email me. The Bourne Supremacy and the Bourne Ultimatum by Robert Ludlum. And right now, I'm showing you the specific kind of book covers that I want to have in my collection. The reason is because I have this book cover version of the Bourne Identity, which I bought from Book Sale back in 2017. It's seen better days, to be honest. I've found a copy of the Bourne Ultimatum in Book Sale with the specific book cover that I want, but I haven't seen a copy of the Bourne Supremacy in that specific book cover yet anywhere, so I've refused to buy the Ultimatum book just for that petty reason. I gotta find Supremacy first, and then I'll proceed with getting the Ultimatum book. And once I complete that trilogy, I get to unlock the doors on buying the Eric Van Lustbader Bourne novels. There's a lot of copies of them out there, so I don't have to worry as much with those. The Killing Floor by Lee Child is the first Jack Reacher novel that he wrote, and I really liked watching the new Reacher series on Amazon, and I see a lot of Jack Reacher novels in Book Sale. I literally have found a copy of The Killing Floor in that same Book Sale branch, but I just refuse to buy it somehow because the book doesn't match the other Reacher novels, and that grinds my gears in a way that you wouldn't even begin to understand. But I think there aren't any alternate cover versions out there anyway, so I guess I'll settle for the one with a bloodstain on it. If I do end up buying that copy, I guess that unlocks getting to buy all of the other Jack Reacher novels that I could find in Book Sale. I have 3 Conan the Cimmerian novels so far. Conan the Defender by Robert Jordan, Conan the Hero by Leonard Carpenter, and Conan and the Amazon by John Maddox Roberts. At the time of this recording, I'm still not done reading all of the Conan novellas from Weird Tales. But I'm getting there, just 3 to 4 more titles to go. But yeah, I want to find more of the pocket novels, and I've only really found them at the Fisher Mall branch of Chapters and Pages. I haven't visited that store in a while, and I don't even know if it's still out there. I hope it is, honestly. That was one of my favorite bookstores to go to back when I was still living in Manila, and it's hard to go there from Parañaque, so if you have any, you know what to do at this point. Iron Man, the novelization. The reason why I want a copy of that is because I have a copy of the Incredible Hulk novelization, which my dad bought for me years ago. This was 50 pesos on National Bookstore. It was on sale, obviously. I do know somebody who has a copy of the Iron Man novelization. Or I guess I used to know somebody who did. The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker novelizations. I have a copy of The Last Jedi that I haven't read yet because I don't have The Force Awakens. National Bookstore used to sell them, but I haven't found a copy of it since the last time I checked. Just the junior novels. And what am I gonna do with those? Speaking more on Star Wars, I would also like to find these specific book cover versions of the Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn. Full Book used to sell them before Del Rey decided to make new cover versions of the trilogy that is just bland and uninteresting to me, personally. If any of you own the trilogy set for these books and are willing to sell them to me, Terminator Salvation, the novelization. I really liked the movie and have actually found a copy of the novelization at book sale before, but I just somehow skipped it because I probably lacked the money to buy it when I was there. I've also seen a few copies of like Terminator Salvation complimentary novels out there. I haven't done my research on it yet, but I guess it's like an expansion of the world that was set up in Salvation. And I would love to learn more about that world, to be honest. A lot of people didn't like Terminator Salvation because Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't in it, only his likeness. But I really enjoyed the story, honestly. It's an underrated movie, so to speak. Fuzzies and Other People by H. Beam Piper. Now we're getting into more of the obscure books that you probably haven't heard of. In my top 5 favorite books video, I mentioned that Little Fuzzy was one of my top 5. And I remain to stand by that statement. The problem is that I own a copy of Fuzzy Sapiens, the sequel to Little Fuzzy, and I can't find it in me to read this book because I still don't have a copy of Fuzzies and Other People. Another problem would be the history behind this specific novel. See, H. Beam Piper died before this book got published, but he had finished it, and people just organized it in order for it to be printed out. But also before it was published, a different author took the reins of the series and made his own rendition of the Fuzzy Sapiens universe. I'm not really interested in those books at all. I just want to find H. Beam Piper's last book in his trilogy and be content with just having read those 3 books. This is probably the hardest book to find out of all of the books I've mentioned so far. So if you have a copy of this book, please give it to me. The Grand Design and the Saints of the Sword by John Marco. I own a copy of The Jackal of Nar, which is the first book in this trilogy, and I have never found a copy of The Grand Design anywhere. It's the same situation with the Bourne trilogy. I found a copy of The Saints of the Sword, the 3rd book, but I haven't found The Grand Design yet. So I refrained from buying the 3rd book because I still wouldn't read it even if I had already bought it, because I'm missing the middle part of the story. Get what I'm saying here? If you have a copy, hit me up. I own a copy of the Penguin Popular Classics version of The Wizard of Oz. I bought this at a book convention in Mega Mall a few years ago, and I bought the 7th and 8th Oz books from book sale earlier this year. Why? I don't know. I figured I might find the rest of the Oz books in book sale or chapters and pages, but as time goes by, I'm slowly seeing a reality where I might end up not finding them at all. Plus, National Bookstore is selling a complete set of the Oz books, but it has a more child-friendly book cover to it, which isn't really a problem. But if I end up choosing to buy that whole set, what do I do with the ones that I already have? I could always sell them online, of course, but then again, I could live a life much like Sisyphus and just have a hard time finding the specific book cover versions of the other Oz novels instead. What would be more satisfying is the ultimate question we need to ask in this situation. Do we go the easy way or the hard way? Those are all the books I still need to find. There's no rush in finding these books, but there also kind of is. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Hit the notification bell or the join button to become a member and gain early access to future videos and members only content. This is Elmo's Universe, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.